Hello, welcome to Menus in WPF. So taking a look at Demo Menus WPF, what this is a WPF application with nothing in it. We'll go ahead and add some menus to this thing. As always, we can use the toolbox or we can just type in what we know the appropriate XAML code to be. So let's start with the toolbox. And inside of all WPF controls, we see something called menu. And we could drag that into the designer onto the window. And the first thing you notice is that it does not appear at the top of the window. So unlike WinForms menus, WPF menus don't have a specific location. They can be wherever you want, and as you see by default, they do not go to the top. So we have a lot more flexibility with menus in WPF. For the purposes of this demonstration, let's consider that you do want to put this at the top. So how could you accomplish that? Well, sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to enter the XAML code by hand. So let's try that. Let's get rid of the menu control that we added through drag and drop and simply type in the needed XAML code. Now in this case, I'm going to place the menu in a dock panel. So here's what that code would look like. So we start with the dock panel. And then we create a menu in that dock panel. Now note that the menu itself is not the part that you would click on. We would click on individual menu items. But even before we get to individual menu items, we want a menu item that basically represents the title of the menu. It's the part of the menu control that's visible when you're not interacting with it. And then literally inside of that menu item, we place additional menu items, and these are the things that would actually execute the code based on the menu. So in this case, I've got a menu item for the new command, and I give that a header, and notice that the header includes an underscore. This will allow me to use it with access keys, and then of course the click event. After that, I create another menu item, again with the leading underscore and its click event. Now in this case, I've got nothing else in this dock panel. In fact, I've got nothing else in this grid. So just to take up that blank space, I'm going to put an empty stack panel. And notice I've forgotten to put the leading underscore in front of the header for the main menu item. So let me do that. And then run the code. And there's the file menu item. And I can click on it and open up the menu, new and open. Of course, these don't have any command procedures associated with them, so they won't do anything, but we will look at that in a bit. And if I press the Alt key, you'll notice that the underscore appears underneath the F in file, so Alt F. And in this case, Alt Fn would be new, and Alt Fo would be open. Okay, let's close that. Now from here, let's add some code to our event procedures so we can see these menu items executing. So we'll start with new. And I'll just put a message box in here. So we know when this menu item is activated and therefore its event procedure is executed. And I'll add one for open. Of course, now when we activate those menu items, this code will be executed. Now another thing you might want to do is add a hotkey to these menu items. It's not quite as simple as it is in WinForms. You have to create something known as a routed command. So I'll add some code for a routed command so we can see what it looks like. But since I don't want to get into commands in this introduction, I won't be going to it in any depth. And whether you include this sort of code in your assignment is up to you. So we create a routed command field and instantiate that into an object. And then in the constructor for this window, we will add to the input gestures for this new command. And specifically that input gesture will be the N key with a key modifier of control. So that establishes what key sequence is going to be attached to the command. And then we associate with the command bindings for this page the command plus the event procedure we want to have executed when that command is fired. And then when we run our application and hit Control N, it will execute that event procedure, causing the message box dialog to appear. One thing to note about this is it does not add the information that that hotkey is attached, so that is left to us. Let's take a look at the properties of menu items to see just how much stuff we can do with them. So here's the property pane for the menu item new, and as you can see, there are quite a few things that we can do with menus. Notice also that menu items have items collections, and you can add a number of different things to a menu or menu item using this dialog. For our purposes, a simple text menu with perhaps some access keys will be sufficient. That's menus in WPF. Thanks for watching.